Tesla started rolling out their robo taxis in certain cities in the US. And what does this mean? Does it mean that drivers gonna be losing their jobs very soon? Is autonomous driving gonna be the normal for everyone? Well, maybe, but I'm not so sure how effective it will be because, as far as I know, the Tesla robo taxis do drive by themselves. They do everything by themselves. You don't need any human input. But there is a person inside the car, just in case something happens, to control the car or stop the car or something. So they are keeping a person there. So I'm guessing that the technology might not be there yet, or maybe there's some regulation that's preventing the car from driving without anyone present. But still, I'm concerned about what's going to happen when these cars do start driving by themselves without any input needed from anyone. No person there to make sure that nothing goes wrong, and it's just the passengers and the car. Because unless all the cars become autonomous, even the private vehicles, uh, I don't see how this is actually the best way to do it. Because think about it, how do accidents or all that stuff happen on roads? It's because of human error most of the time. Some people go on the wrong side, some people overspeed, some people don't stop at lights. And even the taxis are autonomous and no one's driving it. The other cars likely to be people driving it in the front seat of the cars. I mean, sure, they might be autonomous too, but I'm thinking that they may have a steering wheel, and some people might be wanting to drive it themselves, in which case the human error factor does exist. And what will the robot actually do in that scenario? I mean, if a car's coming opposite you and suddenly just strays towards you and might crash into you, a person driving could try to steer it out of the way. He might succeed or might not, but he can still try it. Can a robot taxi do that? Can it act quick enough and move in a way to stop that, to save the passengers? I mean, in the case of private cars with autonomous driving, if the driving option is available, the steering wheel can be accessed by the driver. I think that's the way that it's gonna be. I think there's gonna be an option for the driver to access the steering wheel manually. In which case, the driver, in case of some malfunction or any situation, they can access the steering wheel and drive the car by themselves, steer the car themselves. But for robotaxi, how's that gonna work? I mean, sure, it could have the steering wheel too. It probably will have it if everything has it. But the passengers are on the back of the car. Unless there's a lot of people, they're all gonna be in the back of the car. So in the case of an emergency and someone needs to take control, I mean, how are the passengers going to take control if they can't access the front seat quick enough? I mean, these accidents happen really quickly, and in that case, yeah, I'm not sure how safe that would be. And that's my concern, not the cars itself, but because the potential for some sort of error to occur, and the fact that in the case of these taxis, there won't be anyone in the driver's seat that can access it quick enough to save the passengers. And it's not like the companies can just put a person in there just in case what happens, any risk happens, because that kind of defeats the purpose. If you're going to put a person in there and pay them, you might as well make them the driver of the car, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the robot taxi thing. So, not so sure how this would work, but it is the direction we're going to in the future. And in the case of the taxis without anyone in there, I'm honestly a bit concerned about it. I don't know how much I would trust my safety to a car completely without any human input. Now, maybe sometime in the future there's super advanced AIs and computers that can react quick enough and even better than humans, and we won't have to think about this. But I don't think we're getting there that quickly. And I feel like the autonomous thing might end up happening before that. So this is a bit concerning to me. But guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with this stuff, I guess. And this is the thing. We want to replace everything with machines because it's more convenient and more useful and less time consuming for us. But certain things, I feel like human beings doing it are better. I mean, I feel like giving control to a person rather than a robot in certain situations might be the better option. Now, sure, there are plenty of situations where the robots are far superior to human beings in terms of computing and thinking and all that stuff, but some things I don't think we should replace with robotics, but it seems like that is the push that's happening. We want to replace everything with robotics. And we're going to reach a point where there's nothing left to do. Everything will be robotic. Delivery will be robotic. Cooking will be robotic. Driving. Everything. And that seems kind of sad to think about. I mean, what are people supposed to do? Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the complete self-driving thing as of right now is a bit concerning to me.